Hi, Deb McClenny here, talking about professional dispositions of learners. I am going to let you know about all the professional dispositions when it comes to school counseling, and then we're going to talk a little bit about me and my strengths and my weaknesses, and then what I am going to do about them. The first disposition is having high expectations. Basically, all students can learn, and you support realistic expectations. Your goals and expectations are communicated in a positive way, and you're a proactive person. You identify both your strengths and your weaknesses in students through assessments, as well as knowing the kid individually, knowing your students and their interests and their abilities. You really want to have high expectations for every kid, no matter their intelligence or not. Respect for diversity of others. This is super important because we all are a melting pot, and we all need to respect others no matter where we're coming from. We express and demonstrate awareness of the important individual cultural differences. In my school, I have about 10 different countries represented, which is pretty exciting. We embrace diversity, we invite diversity, and practice celebrating other people's cultures and religions. And then we know each other's background. Oftentimes my kids come in and they don't want to talk about their background, and that's important too, for their sake and everybody else's. Of course, we need fairness. We all want to be fair. There's not a teacher or a counselor or an adult really that enjoys not being fair to other people. So we want to ensure that all students are treated in the most appropriate way. We all want to practice the golden rule, taking time to understand each issue, even if it takes more time than you think it should. That happens all the time in teaching. Having to pause and go, okay, what happened here? What happened here? Let's figure this out. Professional conduct. Just be professional and don't bring home life into your work. You should dress appropriately. You should speak appropriately. A lot of people cuss at work, and that you just got to be careful of that. Demonstrating your respect for other colleagues. Don't talk behind their back. And their property, of course, communicating appropriately. This also happens with emails, communicating appropriately, knowing what's the etiquette for email and texting and all the other forms of communication that we have. Just to have a high level of integrity as a professional in your field. Being honest. Everyone needs to be honest and forthright with other people. Be ethical. Again, nobody wants to be with somebody that's going to lie to them. Being very transparent, model your professionalism every day. You need to speak the truth and let the student make some decisions and have some input, especially when you're talking about high school students. This is their future that we're talking about, and they're certainly capable of making decisions on their own. Having compassion for other students. Be genuinely loving and caring and friendly. Provide intellectual and emotional support for them. Be genuinely interested in them. I see this as going to lunches and talking with them over food and hanging out in the hallways in between and going to their events and talking to them before and after school. If you're not there and you're not visible, you won't be able to get to know these kids. You attend their soccer events or their musicals or whatever. Knowing the students beyond just the school is super important. Being an advocate for them, promoting positive change and community involvement. I've been in Arizona all of my life, and so I have a lot of connections, and even through things like Rotary Club and being an advocate outside of our four walls in our school make a huge difference. And really, when you can become community involved and can get the other businesses around, that it's massive. You take time to understand their issues when you're an advocate. seek to understand the challenges that they're facing. Obviously, I'm older than any of my students, and so I don't know what they're going through. I don't know the challenges of this day and age. I can assume and I can guess, but I don't know. I wasn't there. So really trying to understand is super important. Having a dedicated heart, dedication, being professionally active, seeking opportunities to be in a professional development, having active participation when you're there. So many times I've been in professional developments where people are falling asleep. Why are you here if you're falling asleep? Don't do that. Have a positive attitude. Be engaged. Be there. Be present. The one thing that I think I am good at is reflection. Being reflective. Actually, I really honed in on this when I got my national board certification, because that's really massive in national board certification, is being really deeply reflective, not only on my practice as a teacher, but what is the kid going through? How can I help them? Me as a person on a personal level, as a wife, as a teacher, as a mom, as a friend, as a daughter, how can I improve? I'm constantly asking myself that. So the way I'm going to do that as a counselor is do surveys and college surveys, career fairs, ask my parents that I'm helping, did this help? How can I help you better? What do you need? That kind of stuff. I'm constantly doing that. Asking for input constantly, and then taking that input and going, all right, let's see how I can tweak it and make it better. That is super strong, and I feel like it's kind of an overarching thing for people to do. The thing I need to work on, curiosity. I am not as curious. I will instill curiosity in students. I will ask them questions, but I myself I'm not always the most curious person. I'm like, meh, because I guess I just don't take the time to be. I don't know. So I do need to work on that. I think asking higher level questions is not my natural thing, because I believe I am so much explaining and going backwards with my ELD, my ESS, trying to break down things and not trying to push them higher. So I need to get to my gifted brain and go, okay, how can I move this and make this higher, and ask them to open up the field and think outside the box. So that I do want to work on. The way I'm going to do that is get a list of questions. I have this, it's called a Q matrix, that really is, it helps me think about the higher level questions, just the sentence stems, so that I can start pushing myself so that I can push the kids as well. And I will work on the curiosity factor as well. The way I'm going to use these dispositions is so that I can understand the cultures around me. I can understand all my learners and the different styles and the different ways that they learn. Being a person in the community and building strong relationships is massive. Not only on how they learn academically and what they need there, but also what they're going to need socially and emotionally. How I can help them further in college. I'm going to attend their events. I'm going to, obviously, like I said, do surveys. I'm going to visit them and be visible on campus. If I am going to sing the national anthem with some students and build some rapport there, that would be awesome. I'm often an MC for events. That seems to be my gig. Just being visible, being in their lives, that will equal them being comfortable talking to me, and then I can better help them. And then also how I'm going to look at that feedback that I get, not only from surveys from students, and also from the teachers if I go into the classrooms and work on a classroom lesson, but also from my colleagues, from my administration. How am I going to use that? How am I going to use that feedback? What am I going to do? Well, I'll tell you what, I love learning. I think most teachers, most of us do, but I want to attend every conference I possibly can. I love collaboration. I love working with others. So getting these connections that we're getting in class outside of the class to learn from each other will be really valuable. Getting to know my own professors at Grand Canyon will be valuable. Getting further training and anything that comes new. Maybe go travel and see some trainings. I would love that. That ASCA conference sounds fantastic. Always constantly improving. Webinars. I was just actually on a webinar right before this. So constantly improving. That's the name of the game. That's what we're all here on this earth for, right? Is to constantly improve in every aspect of our lives. So I hope you enjoyed it.